What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I wanted to go over a full recap of the Bulls offseason, and we're going to be talking about the Josh Giddey, Alex Caruso trade, then also talking about Jalen Smith, as he was the only free agent signing for the Chicago Bulls, but I think he adds a lot of value as a modern-day center. And then they also drafted Matas Buzelis, who has absolutely been tearing it up, in my opinion, during the Summer League, and I got high hopes for the kid from Chicago. And then we'll also wrap up today's show talking about what's next for Zach LaVine. Will a trade get done? I'll also give you guys my prediction on where he will be playing basketball next season, but also make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. We'll be posting videos every single day leading up to the NBA regular season. So, hey, if you guys want more Bulls content in your life, hit that subscribe button, lock us in as your go-to Bulls YouTube channel. All right, let's start off talking about Josh Giddey here. As you know, the breaking trade that went down this offseason was the Thunder trading for Alex Caruso, and the Bulls received Josh Giddey. Quickly on the Thunder front here, love this move. I think they needed a guy that can be a connecting piece on offense and also be one of the best, defenders at the point of attack in the NBA. Absolutely love the Thunder's moves of the last couple of years. Actually, if I had to pick my way too early NBA champion prediction, I would ride with OKC. But let's get into this from the Josh Giddey front. So this past year with the Oklahoma City Thunder, it was not Giddey's best. Only averaged 12 points a game, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Wasn't the most efficient basketball player from downtown, but I want to focus in on that 2022-23 season where he was the starting point guard for majority of the year. He averaged 16.6 points per game, 6.2 assists, and damn near 8 rebounds per contest, and also shooting 48% from the field. And, keep in mind, this was when he was 20 years old. But, I think for Giddey, if he wants to take that next step and really become, one of the better starters in the NBA and one of the better point guards, I think his development is going to come down to his defense and his three-point shooting. In the modern game, if I had to pick the two most important, attributes of an NBA player, it would be their defense and it would be their catch and shoot three-point ability. Giddey is a negative at both of those, but he does everything else well in his game. And I know people are saying, well, Giddey obviously can't play defense, he can't knock down the open shot, but people forget this guy is only 21 years old. Like, this is not a player who we were trading for that was 26, 27, where maybe we already knew what his peak potential in the NBA would look like. Giddey still has all types of potential. The three-point shooting, like, I am a firm believer, it just gets better with time. It's kind of an age-old basketball take. Like, in the older you get, obviously you just have more reps under your belt, the better shooter you are going to be. But I do have the stat here. It's a little concerning. This was tweeted out this summer, June 20th, and it was Josh Giddey has made 214 three-pointers in his career, and according to NBA tracking data, 176 came without a defender within 6 feet of him. That's more than 82%. On plays where a defender is within 6 feet, he shot 19% from 3. He is unplayably bad shooter. Don't agree with that last part. But yeah, kind of speaks to the point that Giddey, not a good three-point shooter. But again, I like his form. He's got the same release point every time. I think it's something that he could definitely here develop. But I do want to focus in on his playoff run this past season, as he was played out of the rotation, specifically in the Dallas Mavericks series. He, was not good. And I will say, in the New Orleans Pelicans series, he was pretty damn good. Specifically in that Pelicans series, he averaged actually 12, 5, and 5, and was very efficient as well. But overall, in 18 minutes a game, 8 points, 3.6 boards, 2.1 assists, and 45% from the field. And he actually shot 35% from downtown. I think he shot around 3.4 shots per game in the playoffs from deep. But my favorite part about Josh Giddey is that he gets you easy buckets in transition, and that's something the Bulls need. Like, I felt like the Bulls' offense last year, it was just so hard to generate open looks. Giddey will mask a lot of that. He's got this wicked crossover in the transition part of the game, and he doesn't really have a deep bag in terms of, like, he's not going to pull out like a bunch of in and out crosses between the legs, all that hoopla like Kyrie Irving. He's more simple. He'll just make one move, beat his man off the dribble. He's huge on attacking angles of defenders. So listen, I think Giddey, he's going to be fantastic for the Bulls, and hopefully he develops into being a point guard of the future here in Chicago. But another deal I absolutely love that the Bulls made this summer was bringing in the stretch big man Jalen Smith, where he signed a 3-year, $27 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. Now, Jalen Smith was one of the most highly touted high school prospects, actually, coming out of his class. He was 15th ranked overall and the 3rd ranked center. And, he was great for a Pacers team last season that made the Eastern Conference Finals, played in only 17 minutes a game, and he put up great numbers, 10 points a night, 5.5 rebounds, and he does have rim protecting ability, only average 0.6. But again, that was only in 17 minutes a game. You put that out on a per 36 basis, that ends up being around 1.7 blocks per outing. But he was also incredibly efficient, 59.2% from the field, and he shot 42.4% from downtown. Fantastic stuff. And, when I'm talking about Jalen Smith, he is my ideal modern-day big. He's physical, he can protect the rim, he can stretch the floor, and he's also super efficient. That is what you want from a modern-day big man nowadays. But what does he offer to the Bulls? I think he offers versatility more than anything. And the Bulls can create a bunch of different lineups with Smith either at the 4 and the 5. You could run Jalen Smith at the 4 and have a traditional center at the 5, and then you got one of the biggest lineups in the NBA. But however, he can also play some stretch 5. So you can play a 5-out offense, kind of replicate what the Celtics did with Porzingis this past season, where the floor is open. It's just easier for guys to beat players off the dribble. Jalen Smith can do either of those. But I want to ask you guys this. Who are you more excited to watch this upcoming season? Give me a JS for Jalen Smith or give me a JG for Josh Giddey. Now, before we dive into the other moves that the Bulls made this offseason, I first want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Game Time, the best ticket purchasing app out there right now. And if you guys download the Game Time app and use promo code CHATSPORTS, we'll hook you guys up with $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, first purchase only. Download Game Time, use promo code CHATSPORTS, and we'll hook you guys up with $20 off. But hey, if you guys are looking to head to a Chicago Cubs or Chicago White Sox game this summer, good news for you. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. And with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Now, one of my favorite features of the Game Time app is you guys can actually view your seat before you even buy the ticket. You see it on the right side of your screen right now. You guys can actually look at the field or, the court or the concert venue, whatever it is, before you actually buy that ticket. And that is my favorite part of the Game Time app. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Now, I just walked that back. I just said my favorite move of the offseason was Jalen Smith. Take that back. My favorite move of the offseason was drafting this kid from Chicago, Matas Buzelis, pick 11 in the 2024 NBA draft. And listen, I was high on him coming out, and I didn't think the Bulls had a chance to draft him. If you guys watch a lot of my draft videos on the channel, I never really talked about him too much because I thought he was a lock to go in the top 5. Well, he's been living up to that expectation, and specifically in Summer League. Again, the efficiency, I don't want to call it an issue, but it should be addressed. He was not the most efficient basketball player, especially in the last couple of games, but he still filled up the stat sheet, almost averaging 17 points a night, 4.2 boards, and 2 blocks and 2 steals a night. I think the number one thing with Buzelis is he is going to be a plus defender day one in the NBA. And I'll say this to Bulls fans, be patient. I've seen it throughout my history of just being around Bulls fans, and me personally, watching this basketball team is, we are too quickly to judge these players, and then we've seen them go on to other teams and be super successful. The best case, or the biggest name I could think about that with would be Lauri Markkanen, but also even like a guy like Patrick Williams. I already see Bulls fans are out on him. Just be patient with Buzelis. He showed great flashes in the Summer League, but it will be a process. He's going to need to put more weight on his frame. I actually would love to see him working out of the kind of the LeBron area right above the block and have him be a playmaker out of there and maybe hit a couple turnaround jumpers. But, I'll tell you what, this kid's a freak athlete, and I think he's going to be one of the better wing defenders in the league from day one. Just because of his natural size, his natural athletic ability. See this chase down block. He got beat coming around the corner. He turned it on the elbow on him. He had about 2 steps ahead of Buzelis, and Buzelis put that piece on the backboard. It was unreal, and we also talk about that Buzelis dunk. It was awesome against the Golden State Warriors. Put 2 dudes on a poster. So, overall with Buzelis, I'm super excited to watch him play. I think it's going to be a ton of fun just to watch him develop. And that's also the one thing about these younger players. Enjoy the process. Enjoy watching him struggle and go through the ins and outs of the NBA. But I want to make this note. The number one thing I love about him, I love the swagger he plays with. Specifically talking about that poster dunk against the Golden State Warriors 2 Friday nights ago. He got up mean mugging the Warriors player after it. He plays with the swagger. He plays with his confidence. And I think that is so key to having your game translate to the next level. But what say you Bulls fans? Are you a Matas Buzelis believer? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments section. Curious to see where you guys stand. Now, what is going on with Zach LaVine? As I have probably made 100+ videos on the channel talking about the latest Zach LaVine trade rumors. And, frankly, I'm kind of getting sick of it. I want the Bulls to trade him, but, we'll see how that ends up shaking out. But here's my take on LaVine. I think it's a 2-team race. The more I just look at the NBA landscape and the more I look at, what teams could be interested in the star guard, I think it's either going to be the Lakers or he just remains on the Bulls this upcoming season. And why the Lakers is, after watching the Olympics and watching how dominant Anthony Davis and LeBron James both have been, as they have been the 2 best players on this team by far throughout their exhibition games, I think Rob Pelinka should be looking at that and saying, I need to get a 3rd star next to those 2, and LaVine is the perfect player next to LeBron and Anthony Davis. We don't need to talk about his contract. Don't need to talk about his injury history. We're just talking about him on the court when he is 100% healthy. He's a 3-level scorer that can attack the basket, great catch and shoot guy. He can also play off ball. I just think LaVine, I actually think the Lakers, it makes a whole lot of sense for them to bring in Zach LaVine. And I'll tell you what, if you just package maybe D'Lo, Rui, and maybe the Bulls somehow get a 1st-round pick out of this, it would be a great, great deal. But, hey, I think it's either the Bulls or the Lakers on where Zach LaVine will play next season. But you guys let me know. What say you here? Where will Zach LaVine play his basketball next season? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. And also, guys, if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's the handle right there, @PatSieps. Put that link for you guys in the comments and description of today's show. But thank you guys so much for watching. As always, go Bulls.